teach. If you don't know, you can go to the bio for Union or their website and either choose to donate or use your class passes, or I know some of you will probably still continue with your membership. We're going to be doing lots of online content for you over the next little while, so stay tuned for that. And if you can support them, go to their website or the bio in the Instagram situation. So we're going to get started seated today. So if possible, you're going to come to kneel, and you can maybe use a squishy ball between your ankles and sit, or you can cross your legs, or you can sit up on a block or sit on a chair. It doesn't really matter. You can even be standing. We're going to do a little bit of wrist prep, which you should get really excited about. So you're going to take your arms forward and just straighten your elbows. And if you find that your shoulders get stressed by this, you can bend your elbows and bring your elbows in by your sides. Eric's probably fine with this. You're gonna stick all your fingers together. So make your hands into like paddles, and then stick all your fingers together. And then flex your palms, or sorry, that's extending your wrist, and then flex your wrist, turn them down. You're gonna go back and forth like that, trying not to bend your fingers at all. So your wrist joint is moving, but your finger knuckles are not bending if you can avoid that happening. And you're just trying to isolate the movement at the bones of the hand and the wrist so that the forearm bones, you'll notice, aren't moving at all. And then the next time that you pass through level with the floor, you're gonna pause. All your fingers are gonna turn away from the center. Yeah, and then all your fingers are gonna turn into center, and you're gonna do this a couple times. Try not to bend the elbows. Try not to move anything but the palms. Fingers still stuck together if you can. You're gonna do this about 3 more times side to side. So basically you're mapping 4 points, and then you're gonna use that to create a circle. So let's take a little rest, a little shake. And then you're gonna go back to the same situation. Oh, sorry. You're gonna go back to the same situation with the hands, and then flex, turn out, turn down, turn in. Try to make a circle just with the palm moving. The wrist bones shouldn't be at all. So the underside of your forearms should remain facing the ground. And then just switch the direction of the circle. Hi, kiddo. Okay. Feel anything? Last 2 like this. So some of this was inspired because people are doing this like push-up challenge thing, so I got a few things for you today to help with your push-ups. Okay, release this, give it a little shake. And then you're gonna do it again. Send your arms forward. This time spread your fingers. Make your hands into like widespread mitts, and then flex, extend back and forth. Keep your fingers spreading really, really wide. Keep your finger knuckles locked if you can, and just move at the wrist. It's harder with spread fingers. Now, the next time that your palms are level with the floor, you're gonna start to move side to side. So you turn all your fingers apart, and then you turn all your fingers towards center, so now you're a DJ. Straighter elbows, palms in, out, just about 3 more side to side. Okay, now drop the arms, take a little rest, give a little shake. And you're gonna try to circle with your spread fingers. So take your arms forward, you'll extend, fingers turn out, they turn down, they turn in. Trying the whole time to keep the forearm bones level to the floor. So there's 2 bones in your forearms, and they really right now wanna turn in or out away from center. So see what you can do to avoid that. Good work. Now switch the direction in which you're drawing these circles. Last 2. Good. Okay, you're gonna let it go, give a little shake. How'd it feel?
Good.
Good? No big deal?
No big deal.
Okay, you're gonna take your arms forward. Spread your fingers really, really well. You're gonna flex your palms, and then you're gonna turn them down. You're gonna curl just your pinky, and then your ring, and then your middle, and then your index, and you're gonna wrap your thumbs around your first two finger knuckles, make a really, really tight fist. Now turn your finger knuckles toward the ground, stretching out the top of the forearm, and close your palm more tightly, make the fist really, really taut, and then you're gonna reverse this, take your thumb back, and then your index down, and your middle down, and your ring finger down, and pinky finger down, and then flex your palms, and then forward, 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 reach, reach, reach through the heel of the palms, like you wanna do a plank pose on the space in front of you. Okay, now release that, give a little shake. And then from here, he's gonna take this stretchy band behind his back as if like holding, like you're gonna towel yourself off with it. If you don't have one at home, you can just do this movement with the shoulders. If you have something slightly weighted, you can put the weights in your hands, but it might be harder depending on how strong the weights are. So you'll wanna take your hands right to the end of that band probably. Yeah, and then you're just gonna pull your arms to straight and feel the shoulder blades slide to the front of the body, and then you're gonna pull the shoulder blades back and bend the elbows. Yeah, and just do that again. Slide your arms forward, straighten your elbows completely, round, protract the shoulders, and then pull the shoulders back and let the elbows bend and release it. Do this about 5 more times, just straight arms. I would often refer to this as shoulder flossing. So those of you at home who maybe don't have bands, your shoulder blades should be moving forward, and then back, forward, and then back. Now, the next time that the arms go forward and the shoulders are protracted, you're gonna hold for a second. Now, what if you lifted the arms up a little bit and then back to where they started? Up a little bit and then back to where they started. Shoulders still protracted, go for like that for 3, for 2. Now, the next time they go up a little bit, you're gonna pause with them up a little bit, shoulders round and take a deep breath. Okay, let it go. Take a second. And then you're gonna lose the band if you have it. I had a squishy ball around it. Oh, you're sitting on it, right? So you're gonna put, if you have a squish ball, you'll put it behind your upper back. And if you don't, you can do the same exercise with no ball. All of the same leg variations and stuff will be completely possible without the ball. And then stretch over the ball for a second. You wanna take your arms back and your legs forward just to give yourself a bit of a little bit of moving that won't be, constant muscle burn. Which is coming. And then you'll set your feet flat and you'll take your hands to interlace at the base of the skull, holding on to the back of your head. Make sure you're not at the nape of your neck. And then you're gonna nod your chin a little, take a deep breath in. With the exhale, you're gonna curl up over the ball or curl up into a little ab curl. Inhale, you'll go back over the ball. And exhales, you'll curl up till you're empty. You can do breath through the mouth or through the nose as you prefer. Do this a few times. So it's just a simple ab curl. On the squishy ball, you generally will leave your low back neutral, even if you're not 100% sure what that is. So if you're not on the ball, if you were here the other day, we did this curl with a little bit of space in the lower back. So you're not tucking your tailbone, you're not rounding your lumbar into the floor just yet. Now the next time he curls up, he's gonna pause, ribs pulled in, still a little space in your low back if you're not on the ball, and then open your knees to the diagonals, and then close your knees to parallel. You're gonna do this a couple times. Open your knees to the diagonals, and then close your knees parallel. So you wanna keep the front of the ribs drawing down as your knees open and as they close. You wanna make the movement of the legs symmetrical, and then he's gonna start to add on. As the knees come in, he's gonna back out. And then curl, open the knees in one action. Do this a couple times. Back out, knees close, and then curl up and knees open. Yeah, just like that. Make it as smooth as you can. See if you can get empty at the very top of the ab curl. So there might be a moment where you're actually holding the ab curl. And if you're new to this kind of class, people like to rush ab stuff. It's not that efficient when you rush through it. You use a lot of momentum. So if you're newer to our style, we're really focused on contractions rather than just like as many reps as you can put out. And the next time you curl, you're gonna hold curling. Pull the front of the ribs down. Knees are open to the diagonals. And you're gonna keep your ribs pulled down, and then just your left knee is gonna come to center. And then your left knee goes back out. And then just your right knee is gonna come to center. And then it comes back to the side. Now as your left knee comes in, keep your left pelvis heavy, and then parallel, both knees open. Right knee comes in, right pelvis heavy. So that as you move one leg at a time, your hip bones are not, hopefully, rocking from left to right. And the next time that the knees are parallel, you're gonna pause, back out over the ball, bring your knees to parallel, take a deep breath, stay over the ball for the extra breath, or stay on the floor if you're not on a ball. With your next exhale, you're gonna curl up slowly over the ball, round your upper spine, and then lift your right leg to a tabletop. So your shin is about level, your knee is over your hip socket, and then do a little twist one way. Yeah, and then come to the center and do a little twist the other way. So what you're looking to do, hopefully, is keep the hip bones completely still. So that as you turn your ribs, not that much, your pelvis doesn't rock, same as in that last exercise. Head is heavy in the hands, you're not pulling on your skull. If you ever feel like you need to get your hands out from behind there, you could reach them forward. Generally the front of the neck will get stressed by that, so you might have to go back and forth. Now the next time that you are in the twist to the left, you're gonna pause, and then without anything else moving, you're gonna externally rotate your right thigh. So knee turns out to the side, and then knee's gonna come back to parallel. Do that again. Open the knee to the right, and then close the knee to parallel. So your left ribs are staying really pulled down. Your left pelvis should stay heavy so that nothing's moving except for your right thigh bone. Now the next time the knee is in center, you're gonna come to center with your spine, take a deep breath out, curl deeper, and then place the foot down and back out. Take a deep breath over the ball. And with the next exhale, curl up, lift the left leg, hold left leg lifted, do a little twist one way, and then center, do a little twist the other way. Again, if there's no ball behind you, you're just doing a small little diagonal ab curl. It's not about twisting far, but really look at the diagonals, look at the obliques, they're diagonal muscles. They run from one side of the rib to the opposite pelvis. Now, last one from side to side. So when he next goes to the right, he's gonna pause, keep the right ribs heavy, right pelvis heavy, open left knee, and then close left knee. Do it again. Open the left knee to the side, and then close it to parallel. A couple times, open the knee and close. Yep. Open the knee and close. Last one like this. Knee's gonna come to center, he's gonna come to center, curl a little bit deeper, exhale, and then put the foot down and back out. Take a deep breath over the ball, an extra moment there to chill, and then with your next breath out, curl yourself up again, find the ab curl. Lift one leg to tabletop, and then lift both legs to tabletop. Shins level, knees over hip sockets. Now back out a little bit of your ab curl, and then curl back up. You'll do it again, back out a little bit, and then curl up. Last one, back out a little. You're gonna curl up, you're gonna hold, open both knees, soles of the feet together, and then close both knees, shins together. Do it again, open your knees, and then close your knees. Twice more. Full ribs staying pulled down, upper chest staying rounded slightly. Now the next time that the knees are open, you're gonna hold with the knees open, you're gonna lower the right foot toward the ground, any amount, and then lift it back up, tabletop with knees open. Do it again, left foot lowers, and then feet together. Now as the right foot lowers, you're gonna back out, back bend, and then lift the foot and lift the body. Do it again, back out, lower the one foot, and then curl up and lift it. Do this again, back out, inhale, and then curl up as you exhale. One more to the left. Curl up, hold, knees open, curl for 5. Don't yank on your head. 4. Hold the ribs down for 3. For 2, could you hold the ab curl, lower the legs a little bit, and then bring them back in. Lower the legs toward the ground a little, and then bring them back up. Do that for 3. How you feeling? Fine. For 2, he's fine. One more time, you're gonna lift the legs up to the diamond, you're gonna hold, now curl for 5. Don't yank on your head. 4. Little pulses, 3. For 2, could you twist one way, and then center, twist the other way. And then center, the pelvis not moving, ribs turning a little bit one direction, and then the other is gonna do 2 more side to side. Next time you're in center, you're gonna pause in center, curl up a little bit deeper, slide your legs a little bit further forward, and then keep your legs that little bit further forward and do 5 little ab curls. 5, don't yank in your head. 4, 3, 2. Hold the ribs pulled down, lower the feet closer to the floor and do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Could you hold the ab curl, take your legs a little bit lower, a little bit further forward, go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold yourself lifted, take a deep breath, round your spine. Okay, place your feet down, back out of the ball or back out onto your spine and just relax there for a second. Send your legs forward and your arms back if that feels all right with you. How'd it go?
Great.
Great. Perfect. Delightful. No big deal.
Can't wait till we get to the real ab exercise.
I know. All right, so if you're on the ball Or if you're not, this is harder without it, you can take or leave it, see how it goes. Take your arms straight up, legs straight, press your feet down, and then do a little ab curl that is gonna bring you up into a seated position, and then you're gonna fold over your legs for a second, put a little bit of bend in your knees if you want to, and round your spine. Okay, so from here, he's going to optionally use this stretchy band, which I think he's probably gonna want. And you at home, if you don't have one, don't worry about it, just do without, or if you wanna rig something, if you have a long band that you can rig up, you can do that. Put it around your thighs, just above your knees. Do you need something under your head? For sideline?
Yes.
Okay. So I like to use a block under the side of the skull. You could fold your mat over it or cushion it somehow if you wanted to. But with the arm under the ear, not everyone's super comfortable like that. My arm goes numb, generally. So you're gonna set up with your feet more lined up with your buttocks. Your thighs and shins create a little triangle down below the pelvis. So rather than straight out, it's actually down on the diagonal. Put your right hand on your right pelvis and do the very best you can to keep your right pelvis completely still. You're gonna open just your top knee, keeping your feet together. And then top knee to bottom knee. Knees are gonna stay together, top foot's gonna lift. Yep, and then feet together. You're gonna rotate back and forth, external and internal rotation. Now, can you give me some like at the gym kind of stuff? I'm sorry if you feel targeted by that, but I'm not. So most times when you see people doing this, it's a wild mess. So let's see if we can keep the top hip completely still. Yeah. And then with the knee, like go back and forth without the top hip moving at all. It's not wrong to do it faster, but most people don't have the proprioceptive ability to actually do it well like that. So we're just doing open, close the knee now. And you're gonna do about 5 more just like that. So you're just working external rotation. Your top hip, if possible, is slightly encouraged forward. I usually take a fist behind the pelvis to give it a barrier. Now, the next time that the knee lifts, you're gonna hold it lifted, feet are together, top knee is lifted, and you're gonna hold up there. You're gonna drop a centimeter, lift a centimeter, drop a little, lift a little, drop a little, lift a little. Tiny little pulse at the very, very tightest part of the contraction for 5. Hold the knee lifted, and then lift the foot to the same height. Now, I like to flex the foot. I think Eric's more of a fan of dropping the ankle. Both are potentially helpful to you. Just see what feels better for you. Now, lower your top leg down, bring the calves right together, and then you'll lift the top leg up back to the height of the pelvis. You'll do this a few times. Lower down and lift. And then could you just show what it looks like when it goes too far? So if you lift your leg too high, your hip is gonna shrug right up toward your armpit. So if possible, as you lift your leg, put your hand maybe on your pelvis to help you keep the top hip pulling long. So that really it's just your thigh bone in your hip socket moving. And your lower back is not hiking the hip up toward the ribs. And if you do start to figure out some of these little micro adjustments, it will feel different. Now the next time that your leg is lifted, you're gonna hold it lifted. And then you're gonna pulse at the top of this. So a centimeter up, a centimeter down, abduction, right around the height of the hip socket probably. Go for 5. Top hip pulling long, he's doing a really good job of keeping it still. I'm just encouraging most of you at home. For 2, you're gonna hold the leg lifted, take a deep breath. Now lower it down, take a little rest. Hold there for a second. And then from here, you're going to lift your thigh up and try to straighten the leg, take it up and back a little bit. Yeah, and then you'll bend the knee and bring it right down to your bottom leg. Do it again, take it up and back, and then lower the top knee down. Now, if you apply some of what we talked about in the abdominal work, your low belly is drawing back toward your spine so that your lower back is not arched a whole bunch. If your leg is going any more than like 2-3 inches behind you, you're arching your back and not actually probably accessing your glutes. Now the next time that your leg bends, you're gonna bring it in and keep it bent, but you're gonna hover it at hip socket height, and then you're gonna do external rotation and then neutral. External rotation and then neutral. Remember what you did in your ab stuff. When you rotate the thigh, where does the pelvis go? Yeah, nice work. Go for about 5 more like that. External rotation should be pretty rough, if you especially got a band. How's it going, Eric?
Good.
Nothing yet?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
A little bit.
Now, the next time that the leg is in external rotation, you're gonna pause with the knee slightly lifted. Make sure your top hip pressed forward. Now lift a little lower, a little, lift a little lower, little tiny little pulses in external rotation if you can. Yeah. I wonder how many we might do. I mean, it's Eric we're dealing with here, so, but I should probably try to teach to you at home, I guess. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, hold your leg lifted, take a deep breath, stay there. And you're gonna lower the leg down, take a little rest. Now the last thing, you may wanna lose the band if you've got one on, you can try it, see how it goes. You're gonna lift and straighten the leg. You're gonna point the foot toward the back of your mat. Now take your leg up a centimeter, and then go backward a centimeter, lower down a centimeter, and go forward a tiny little bit. Do it again. So you're drawing a square, or I mean, you know, it won't look anything like a square. Really, like the square is a concept, but keep drawing that object simple as possible. So you got 4 imagined points. Stop there and switch direction. Yeah. Now switch the direction on which you're drawing this object. Yeah. Belly slightly toned. You'll notice he's got his hand in front of his low belly to give him that sensible position where he can make sure he feels the core staying engaged so that we're really getting into the glutes more likely. Now the next time that you think your leg is more in line with your hip socket, you're gonna pause, you're gonna take your leg up and back. Tiny little diagonal, up and back, up and back, up and back. Go for 5. Are you feeling anything?
Mm-hmm.
4, for 3, for 2. Could you hold your leg back there, lift it up higher from your belly, take a deep breath, and then let it come down. Now, this next one is not for the faint of heart. If you want to lose the band, and you might want to, you're going to lose the band. You're going to come up onto your left elbow and set up in like a post position. So you're going to lift your left side body like a little side planky kind of situation. And then your top hip can, your bottom hip can stay on the floor. You could try lifting it if you want to, but you're going to lift your top leg up off your bottom leg, straighten it out if you can, and you're going to bring your top knee down to your bottom knee. Lift and straighten your top leg. And then bend the knee, put it down. If you want to lift your left hip, go for it. And if it feels like you need to keep it on the floor, just keep it on the floor. This new elevation will change what you're feeling here. Go for 5 more like that. Straighten the leg, and then bend the knee. Straighten the leg, and then bend the knee. Good? How does it feel?
Good.
Good. Now hold the leg straight and then pulse. Little pulse up, down, up, down, up, down for 5. For 4. For 3. 2. Hold your leg lifted back there, firm your buttocks, firm your leg straight, take a deep breath. Okay, put it down. Still nothing?
Just getting there.
He's too strong.
He was getting there.
Okay, so you're gonna probably take that band off and you're gonna let it on your back. And then take figure 4 of your right ankle to your left thigh. Stay with your left foot on the ground for a second. Tilt your right knee more open to the right. So further into external rotation. And then windshield wipe the leg side to side. Keep the figure 4 and just tilt the whole thing left to right. Some tea. And then the next time that the figure 4 shape goes left, you're gonna leave it there. So your right foot is probably gonna...
I don't want to leave it there.
Okay, no, it's too intense right now apparently. So you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You're gonna float the leg up into figure 4 in a floating tabletop kind of situation, and then you can hold the leg with interlaced fingers, or you can keep the floating thing, or you can take another variation if there's something you'd rather do, but give a few moments to release your right glutes a little bit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing this floating situation, you would be pulling the knee back into the ankle and at the same time widening the right thigh open to the right. Okay. So in the next couple of breaths, he's going to release the legs and send them up and shake them, or if there's something else he feels like he needs to revisit, then go for that. And then you're going to come back into a seated position as simply as possible. And we'll use the squishy ball again between the shoulder blades. So if you don't have one, you'll again just do an ab sequence without it. If it's comfortable, you'll come back onto the ball. Set your upper back on the ball. Take your hands eventually to interlace behind your skull. Take a deep breath in on the ball, and as you exhale, you'll just curl up. You can do a couple like this, just simple, backing out, inhaling, and curling up as you exhale. Backing out, breathing in, and then curl up as you breathe out. Twice more. Now the next time you're in the ab curl, you're gonna pause and lift one leg to tabletop, and then the other leg to match. So the shins are gonna be together, the knees and toes are gonna touch. You're gonna add on to something from earlier. Externally rotate your right thigh, and then you're gonna tap your right toes to the left. And then bring it back up and in, rotate to neutral, and then come back out with the left knee, tap the right side of center, and then bring the leg back up and in. Right thigh opens, turns out as your toes tap the opposite side of center. Yeah, and then keep going like this. Take a wide movement if you can. So there's kind of this big like swoopy business happening with the shin bone. So go forward and tap the opposite side of center with each set of toes. And then start to add on. Curl deeper as you tap the foot. Back out a little as you bring it back to tabletop. Yeah, curl deeper, tap the toes to one side of center, and then come back. And do this a few times. So you're taking a full rotation of the thigh, the leg goes forward and taps opposite side of center. And do about 3 more from side to side like this. That's 2. Good. Now, the next time the left foot taps, he's gonna bring it to neutral. He's gonna put his feet together, open the knees, back out, and then curl up. Back out, and curl up. One more time, back out. Now curl up and hold, slide the feet forward, keep them forward, bring the knees together, and then bring the knees back in over your belly or hips. Do it again, open your knees, slide your feet way, way, way forward, keep them out there, bring your knees together, and then bring your knees back in. Do it again, open your knees, feet go forward, close your knees, and then bring them back in. Ribs are pulled in the whole time, twice more. Forward, knees in, back over the pelvis. One more time, open, legs forward, bring it in. Now open the knees, pause, feet together, knees open, curl for 5. Don't yank in your head, 4. Little pulses, 3, for 2. You're gonna hold the ab curl, lower your legs halfway-ish, and then bring them back up. Lower your legs halfway, and then bring them back up. For 2 more, lower the feet, keep them together, and then lift the legs. Again, lower the feet, and then lift the legs. Now hold with the legs lifted, curl for 5. Don't yank in your head, 4. Ribs down, 3, 2. Hold the ab curl, round the spine, take a deep breath. Okay, let it go. Feet down, back out. Take the back bend for a couple breaths if that feels good. Arms might stretch back, legs stretch forward. And then you're gonna reach your arms up to the ceiling, nod the chin, do a little ab curl coming up toward a seat. And then take a round spine if you feel good like that. Some tea. When possible, he's gonna spin around. You can face whatever direction you want to. I assume you're probably gonna wanna face the camera. So you'll have to turn the other way. You're gonna lie down on your right side. If you were with us on the same side last time, he's gonna put the band on above his knees. If you're using one, go for it. And then lie down on your right side. And set your feet more in line with your bum. Your thigh bones are angled diagonally below the pelvis. Left hand on left hip if possible. And then keeping the pelvis as still as possible, open the top knee, feet together. Yeah, and then top knee down, knees together, top foot lifts. And then bring the feet back together. So a couple times like this. This first thing I often refer to as the quiet whisper section of practice, because it doesn't feel like that much is happening, which is why you end up seeing a lot of this. Can you do the sketchy, like, good life thing again? Yeah. So, don't be rushed. You'll feel it eventually. If you can just, chill and go a little slower, you'll actually start to access these muscles in a much more profound way. If you don't know, your glutes are lazy. They don't want to do things. Every other muscle around them is for some reason willing to do their job. Good. Now he's going to keep his feet together next time they're together, and just a few times open, close the top knee. If you want to place a fist behind your pelvis, or your palm, or your thumb, or something back there, just give yourself a barrier. Good. Now the next time that the top knee is lifted, right around the height of the hip, you're gonna pause and then do a little flutter. Centimeter up and down, centimeter up and down. For 5. Now hold the knee lifted at hip height, lift the foot to the same height. He's gonna drop the ankles like dead weight. I like to flex the foot, see which feels better for you. Lower your leg down, and then lift your leg up. Lower your leg down, and then lift your leg up. So the small things you do at the beginning of the exercise pave the way for everything else to be more efficient as you continue. If it was hard to keep your hip from rolling around in that last part, it's going to keep getting harder as things progress. Good. Last 2 like this. When his leg is lifted, he's going to pause. Now pulse. Centimeter or so up and down, doesn't matter exactly, but firming at the very tightest part of the contraction. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold your leg lifted, take a deep breath. You're gonna lower it down, take a little rest. Good. Now lift and straighten your leg. And then bend your knee and put it down. Could you do one with me for your belly spilling forward and your back arching? So you can get your leg way further back there if you just do it from your low back. But don't, bring your knee down. Firm the front of the belly a little bit as the leg lifts and straightens. This stays tight so that it's really the left glute doing it. You'll do 3 more like that. Lift and straighten your leg completely, and then bend your knee, put it right down. Good. Now, last one like this. You're gonna straighten the leg, and then you're gonna bring it in. Keep your top, I love how someone just said guilty. Hold your top leg in bent knee though, hovering above the bottom thigh. And then external rotation and back to parallel. Yeah, external rotation and back to parallel. Hi, Anna. Anna says cute pets. Good, you're gonna go for about 5 more like this. Rotate the thigh, but keep the top hip really pressed forward. Is it feeling like something?
A little bit.
Okay. Now the next time your leg rotates, you're gonna pause, and then little pulse. Tiny, centimeter, up and down. Good. Don't let the hip hike up toward the armpit. Lean into the sensation at your outer buttocks. Start to learn how to contract that muscle. You can start to gain more action there. Now hold your leg lifted just for a moment. You're gonna lower it down. Little rest. Okay. Now, you're gonna lift and straighten your leg. Point the toes, take the leg up a centimeter, go back a centimeter, down a little, forward a little. So you're drawing a box, let's say relatively square, who knows, but 4 points at which you are switching direction, but 90 degrees obviously. I like math. Straight knee, top hip completely still. Now switch direction. How's it feeling?
Good. It's tickling.
Tickling. Last 2 like this. Now, the next time the leg is in line with your hip socket-ish, you're gonna pause, take your leg up and back. Tiny little diagonal, up and back, up and back, up and back. Go for 5. For 4. Firm the buttocks. 3. Firm the belly. 2. 2. Now hold your leg lifted back there, take a deep breath. Firm leg, firm foot, take it back, take another breath. And then put it down. Now you're gonna slide your right elbow close underneath your ribs. You're gonna pick yourself up onto your outer right hip. So it's like a side plank that wasn't, or what I like to call mer person position. And you're going to lift your top leg up off your bottom leg. And then you're gonna lower your top leg back to the floor. A couple times like this, you're gonna lift your top leg up and then lower your top leg down. Now lift and straighten it, and then bend it, put it down. Lift and straighten it, and then bend it, put it down. 3 more times, lift and straighten your leg, bend your knee, put it down. Again. Good. Now hold the leg straight. Hi, Justin. Take a deep breath. Take your leg up, 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 up. Do little pulses. Up and back, up and back, up and back. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold your leg lifted there. Take a deep breath. Firm the outer buttocks. Okay, let it go. Turn onto your back and gently take the band off from around your legs. You will figure 4 your left ankle to your right thigh. And I'll just let him do his thing this time, whatever he preferred from last time. There's windshield wiper of the figure 4 leg. There's thread the needle or a floating tabletop figure 4 kind of thing with no hands. Both are good. Play with whichever feels best to you. So over the next few breaths, finish up the shapes you need to do to release the glute, float the leg to the figure 4 shape or whatever you did the last time. And you might need something different on this side. You know, like I have my one side glutes are very different from my other because of an injury. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, next few breaths, if you're ready to let that go, you're gonna send your legs straight up, give them a good shake, or pull the knees towards your belly, or something that feels relieving for you. Mm-hmm. And then from here, you can, as simply as possible, rock up and down your spine, and come toward a seat. You'll cross your ankles and move toward a tabletop, so hands and knees. I'm gonna put weights on either side of him because I think he's probably gonna wanna use them, but you can take or leave it at home. You're gonna do a couple rounds of cat-cow, so just spread your fingers well and move your spine. It could be simple, or you could move it more sideways, like what I would often call a barrel rolling of the ribs. Eric's so chill, he pets the dog doing this. That's Justin Tenson. Now, if you're doing something in one direction, switch soon. And then you'll come to a neutral situation. Walk your knees a little bit further back, because right now you're probably in like a proper tabletop, so come to more like a kneeling plank. And then lower down onto your front. And some people like to have a little bit of padding under the forehead. Like if you have a towel, you want to roll up and place just under your forehead so the rest of your face can float. If you're comfortable, your nose or chin or forehead can rest on the floor. He's probably going to have those weights in his hands. He can decide for himself. Take the arms back alongside the pelvis. And palms will face up, so the back of your hand is on the floor. Now without your hands lifting, I just want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together and then separate the shoulder blades completely. A couple times. Squeeze and then separate. So again, quiet whispers. You're not gonna feel a lot here, but create the pathway that you need to further this exercise as we continue and as you eventually lift the arms. Now, the next time that your shoulder blades come together, you're gonna pause and then float your arms alongside your hips. Any height that makes sense to you. Keep your shoulder blades pulled in though. Maybe you lift your face, maybe you don't. Take another breath. And then you're gonna lower the arms, you're gonna lower the shoulder blades, you're gonna lower everything. Now, could you show it once without lifting your shoulder blades, lift your arms up? Yeah, sometimes you can even lift your arms higher without your shoulder blade coming together. Not wrong, just very different. Pull your shoulder blades together, let that float your arms up. Maybe you float your face, maybe you look forward, and then lower everything down. He's also working hard to press the front of his pelvis into the ground. So there's a little bit of engagement at the glutes, pulling back toward the feet. Front of hip bone, pubic bone, pressing into the floor. You do about 5 more lifts and lowers like that. I like to keep the feet pressing down behind. If your feet cramp, then just try to do less of, maybe spreading your toes or whatever it might be that activate the legs. Now the next time the arms lift, you're gonna keep the arms lifted, shoulder blades in, and then you're gonna widen your arms out to the diagonals, and then bring them back in towards your pelvis. A couple times, you're gonna widen your arms out, and then you're gonna just narrow your arms back in by your sides. A couple times, open the arms, and then close them. Open the arms, and then close them. One more time. Now you're gonna take the arms open, you're gonna keep them out there, you're gonna pulse up, down, shoulder blades lift, lower, shoulder blades lift, lower, go for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, hold the arms lifted, take a deep breath. Okay, lower everything, release completely. Okay. Now, from here, you might like the weights for this. We're gonna take Cactus Arms, very similar to what you taught me yesterday. So forearms out wide, look at your elbows and make sure they're directly beside your shoulder socket, or maybe a bit forward, but just not a bit back if possible. And then you're going to start by trying to hover your forearms with or without the weights. And then bring your forearms back to the ground, let the elbows and palms come right down. Do it again. As you float your forearms, try to get your wrist / your palm / your weight up more than your elbows. So that as you lift, you're either neutral or slightly externally rotated, so that your wrist goes above your elbow tip from the floor's perspective. And then you're gonna hover your arms and stay with them hovered, trying to keep the elbows where they are. You're gonna internally rotate so the weight will tap the floor, and you're gonna externally rotate so the weight lifts back up right around the height of the elbow, maybe higher than. Do it again. Elbows stay relatively quiet. The forearm bone are tilting down on the diagonal and then back up to either horizontal or slightly higher diagonal. Yeah, go for 3 more like this. Rotate one way and then the other. Good, rotate one way and then the other. Now the next time that your forearms are level or externally rotated a little bit, you're gonna hold and then lift a little, lower a little. Lift a little, lower a little, shoulder blades together, separate, together, separate, together, separate. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold your shoulders lifted, take a deep breath, lift your wrists up higher if you can, I know, and then put it all down. Take a little rest. You can take your hands under your forehead, or you can take them back by your pelvis, or whatever feels good for you. Do you want more than that? Okay, so if possible, you're gonna do one more thing like that. With or without weights, hover your forearms. And then this time you're gonna squeeze your elbows back and make a W shape with your arms. Keep your hands lifting up high, your wrists lifting up high, and then slide your arms forward to straight. Yeah, and then bend your elbows deeply, pull them back, and then slide your arms forward and straighten them. Do this 3 more times. Bend your elbows deeply, W, and then send your arms forward and make a Y. W, Y. One more time. And maybe you are asking why. Now the next time the arms go forward, turn the thumbs more up, the pinkies more down. Now lift a little, lower a little. Lift a little, lower a little. Lift a little, lower a little. Go for 5, for 4, for 3. For 2, could you hold your arms there? Widen a little, narrow a little. Widen a little, narrow a little. Go for 5, for 4, 3, 2. Hold more narrow, lift your arms up, take a deep breath. Okay, let it go. Okay, so you're gonna slide your hands back underneath your armpits / underneath your ribs, more like a cobra kind of setup, and then push yourself up toward hands and knees. And go back toward a child's pose. And in this child's pose, make your knees narrower if possible, and your arms will go back by your feet. So true child's pose in yoga is this one with the arms back. Shoulders round and separate completely. Give it a few breaths. Let your shoulders chill for a moment. Okay. And then you're gonna roll up toward a seated position. Send the legs forward, and you're gonna need to come more toward the middle of your mat so that you don't lie down on the block behind you. So we'll do one roll back just to get to the floor. We're not going to focus on this today really, but press your legs heavy, reach your arms straight forward. You could have weights in your hands if you wanted them, but again, we're not going to really focus on this. Take a deep breath, turn the tailbone under, roll down toward the sacrum, which is just kind of the upper reach of the crack of your bum. Stay there for a moment, press your heels heavy, and continue to millimeter by millimeter, bone by bone by bone. You're going to come all the way to your back. And then when you get there, wiggle your bum closer to your feet and bring your feet maybe a little bit closer to your bum. So you want your feet as wide as your hip sockets. You're gonna place your hands on the front of your pelvis. And then turn your tailbone toward the ground so your low back arches. And then you'll turn your tailbone toward the ceiling and your low back will round. And you'll do this a few times back and forth, pelvic tilting. Your toes are slightly pigeon-toed, by the way. So as you arch and round your low back, you wanna feel the hip points moving as symmetrically as possible. So if you think of like a level, if you had a level across the front of your pelvis, it's balanced, and that little bubble in the middle is staying level. Have you ever been on a construction site? Or would you be surprised to know that Scotty's been on a construction site a day or two in his life? It's more fun when there's actual humans around you too. Now the next time you turn your tailbone up, you're gonna keep it turned up, press your feet down, lift up into a bridge pose. So your bridge comes from your buttocks, not from your chest. So try reaching your arms up for a sec. Shoulder blades are actually spread or protracted across the back body. Front of the ribs pulls down, and then the pelvis can lift up nice and high, but with the ribs relatively low. Take a deep breath in. You're gonna roll down bone by bone by bone. Come all the way down, arch the back, inhale. Tailbone up, round the back, press the feet, lift up as you exhale. Firm butt muscles. Take a deep breath up there, and then roll down the spine as you exhale. Arch on the floor, inhale. Tailbone up, press the feet, lift as you exhale all the way to bridge. Stay up there for the breath in, and then again roll down as you exhale. You're gonna do this about 3 more times on your own. Back and forth, nice and slow, so that as you lift, it's all coming from glutes and hamstrings, and it's less coming from your lower back. People tell me all the time they go to Pilates classes and don't feel the muscles they're supposed to be feeling. It's very easy to do poorly. Now, the next time that you lift up, you're gonna hold lifted, press the feet strongly, you're gonna widen your knees like in the ab stuff from earlier, and then you're gonna parallel your legs. A couple times you're gonna open your knees to the sides, and then you're gonna close your knees to parallel. Your hips should not be moving. Your thighs should be moving symmetrically. You don't have to leave your arms up in the air, by the way. If you want to put them down, you can put them down. Just keep that idea that it's not a yoga bridge. You're not pressing your shoulders down. Ribs stay low. Now, the next time that the legs come back into parallel, he's going to pause, take a deep breath in, and then roll down through the spine. Come all the way down, arch the back. And then round, press the feet, lift back up to bridge. You're going to hold lifted. Now, he's going to lift his right hip a little higher than his left hip. And you're gonna switch, left hip a little higher than the right hip. Yeah, and you're gonna do this back and forth without moving your knees. So that you'll feel the one side that's lifting is really, really firm. You're passing the work from left to right. Good. Now the next time that the pelvis is level, he's gonna pause pelvis level. He's gonna try to only open one knee, and then he's gonna come to parallel. He's gonna open the left knee. The left hip's gonna wanna drop, so he's gonna give a little bit of lift there just to keep it from dropping. Right knee opens, right pelvis stays elevated. Again, it's very much in line with what you did in the ab stuff earlier. As you move your thigh bone, can you do it without moving in your pelvis? Okay. So one more from side to side. Now the next time that the left knee comes into parallel, he's going to take a breath in, he's going to roll down through the spine, maybe start it over there. Roll down, arch the back, and then round the back, press the feet and lift back up into bridge pose. Firm the heels, you're going to open both knees. You're going to drop down, close both knees. Lift up, open both knees. Drop down, close both knees. Do it again, lift and open, and then drop down and close. Yeah. So you're doing the pelvic thrust, the back of the buttocks working to lift you up, then the side of the buttocks is working to rotate your thighs. Last 2. Now the next time he's lifted, he's gonna hold lifted. Knees are slightly on the diagonal. He's gonna hold his pelvis up, but then he's gonna tilt his pelvis. Tailbone down, tailbone up, tailbone down, tailbone up. Outer buttock still firm. Under butt is passing back and forth. If under butt is a new word for you, I'm sorry, but you're welcome. Go for 5, 3, 2. He's gonna hold lifted, take a deep breath. He's gonna come all the way down through his spine. Touch down, arch the back. Now round the back, but don't lift yet. You're gonna lift your right leg into the air to tabletop. Keep your right shin level with the floor. You're gonna turn your tailbone up, press your foot, lift yourself up into a one-legged bridge pose. Ribs are still low, left buttock should be very firm. You're gonna roll down the spine again. Keep the same leg lifted, arch the back for a second. Tailbone up, press the foot, lift to bridge pose. Take an inhale, stay up there. And then wave down as you exhale. One more time, arch the back on the floor. Tailbone up, press the foot, lift to bridge as you exhale. Now hold lifted, left buttocks firm. You're gonna tilt your right knee only, open to the right, and then parallel. Right knee only, open to the right, and then back to parallel. Again, knee open, and then parallel. Is your right hip moving at all? Can you just make your right thigh bone moving? Last 2. Good. Now close right knee parallel, hold that. Open left knee to the diagonal. That's gonna be hard, and then close it. Do it again, left knee open, just left knee, and then close it. Pull the ribs down, open left knee, close it. Now try opening both. And then close both. Try to keep your pelvis still. Open both, close both, open both, close both. Now hold both open. Lift your right buttocks higher and then lower. Higher right buttocks and then lower. Higher, lower for 3, for 2. You're gonna hold your right hip lifted, take a deep breath in, firm your left foot. Now roll down slowly. Take your right foot to the floor, take your left leg in your hands, interlace your fingers behind the hamstrings. Left leg. And then more middle of hamstring, not so much the knee. Press into the hands with the back of your leg. Flex the foot more if you can. So from the back of the knee to the heel, you're pressing up to the ceiling. And from the back of the knee to the buttocks, down to the floor. Hey, kiddo. Okay, now he's gonna release that. Keep the right leg on the floor. You're gonna lift the left leg to table. Press the right foot strong, turn the tailbone up, lift to bridge pose on an exhale. Stay up there and breathe in. And then roll down the spine again as you breathe out. Your left leg stays in tabletop. Turn tailbone up as you exhale. Lift yourself to bridge, one-legged, take an inhale, and then roll yourself back down. One more time. Tailbone up, press the right foot, lift the hips up, bridge pose, hold there. Now open left knee only, and then close left knee to parallel. Do it again. Open left knee to the side, and then close left knee to parallel. Nothing else is moving. 2 more. Open, close, open, close. Now hold the left knee closed next time, and then send the right knee open, and then parallel. Outer edge of the foot, maybe a little bit, and then parallel the right leg. Again, open the knee, close the knee. Now do both. Open both knees, and close both knees. Keep the left pelvis lifting, open both knees, and then close both knees. Again, open both knees, close both knees. Now open both knees and hold them a little open. Lift your left hip higher and then lower. Higher and then lower, higher and then lower for 3, for 2. Could you hold your left hip really, really lifted, take a deep breath, and then roll down through your spine. You'll put your left foot down, you'll take your interlaced hands behind your right thigh. Push into the palm, so it's an active hamstring stretch. The heel pressing upwards, the thigh bone pulling downwards into the socket, and make sure you're breathing. You might even think about your tailbone turning down, so you make a little bit of space in your lower back. Okay, and then next couple breaths, he's gonna send his legs up and shake them, or pull both legs into the belly, or something else that feels helpful or nice for him. Okay, now you're gonna come up toward a seated position. And I'll ask him to turn to face the camera for this. If you don't have weights, you could use something else besides them, like soup cans or something else that's slightly weighted, but make sure they're equal weight. And then, are you comfortable in your seat or maybe a kneeling position?
4.
We're gonna do like some arm stuff, some shoulder movement. So however you can be seated comfortably, on the shins with a block or on cross legs or standing on your shins or standing on your feet if you want to. We just don't have a camera that can have us standing comfortably in front of the camera. So you're gonna sit with weights in your hands. And you're gonna start by making robot arms. So your elbows will be right in by your sides, and your hands will be directly forward of your elbow sockets. Now keep the elbows at 90 degrees, bring them out to horizontal, and then keep the elbows right beside the shoulders and tilt to vertical, so you're in cactus. Yeah. And then tilt back to horizontal. You're gonna straighten the elbows, more diagonally forward, not directly beside you so much, and then super slow lower down. Slower down. Elbows up, elbows bent, forearms wide, tilt to vertical, cactus, back to horizontal, straighten the elbows, and then do an exaggerated slow lower. Yeah, so elbows bent, forearms wide, tip them up, back to horizontal, straighten the elbows, and do a slow release. So we're gonna do this a couple times. You can make it more fluid and less like staccato that I was cueing it the first time through, so it starts to become more like almost like a flow. But the work on the way down is really important here. So everything up above, these muscles are contracting or shortening, and then this last part, muscle goes from contracted to slowly releasing. So you're actually stretching the muscle in an active way. You're gonna do about 3 more full range like this. Do you have time to get everything done? Maybe. Oh, we started a little bit late today, didn't we?
A minute.
Okay. So let's say 1 more full range like this, and then we'll change it up. Okay. So he's gonna do the last one lower. He's gonna come into a robot, and he's gonna come into horizontal. Now from horizontal, he's gonna swing his elbows in front of him, make like a forearm plank situation. And then go back to the horizontal, like droopy cactus. So come into like forearm plank, and then go wide to droopy cactus. Yeah, forearm plank-ish, and then droopy cactus. So meaning like this is cactus, this is droopy. Do it again, twice more. Yep. Forearms in, and then forearms wide. Now this time he's gonna straighten his elbows, turn the palms to face up, bring the arms in front of the shoulders, and then turn the palms face down and take them wide. Palms face up, bring them in front. Palms face down, take them wide. One more like this. Palms face up, bring them in. Now hold them there, do a little circle. Little circle. How you doing? Anything?
A little bit.
A little bit. So you'll most likely feel the front of your shoulder at your deltoids. There's also a lot of stuff here for the rotators, but you might not feel that quite as sharply. Take 3. For 2, can you hold your arms lifted there? Okay, slow lower. All right, so we're gonna come off the blocks, and we're gonna come back to tabletop. So he'll face the windows again if possible. Knees are gonna be a little behind him today, so it's a kneeling plank pose and not an actual like proper Pilates tabletop. So belly, could you give me a spilled belly? So this is a lot of what happens in plank pose, but lift your pelvis, lift your low belly, spread across your shoulder blade region. So in the push position at the top, shoulder blades are very wide. Now he's gonna start to slow lower to the ground. He's gonna come right through a low push-up to touching on the belly, and he's gonna try to hover his hands, pull the shoulder blades up, hover like cobra hovering. Yep. Now keep the shoulder blades squeezing together, push the palms into the floor. Keep the shoulders lifted though. Now hover the palms, and then push the palms, but don't move the shoulder blades. Do it again, hover the palms, and then push the palms. Now with the palms pushing, with the shoulder blades retracted, he's gonna push himself up to either hands and knees or plank, whichever he prefers. And then the shoulder blades are very much separated. Now he's gonna slow reverse to the floor. Hover, cobra hover. Hover the palms. And then push the palms, press the feet or knees, push up to plank pose. Shoulder blades spread wide. Tap your knees if you need them, lower yourself to the ground, really slow on the way down. Hover palms, cobra hover, and then push palms. Push all the way up to plank pose. A couple times if you're okay. Slow lower yourself to the ground. Hover for a second, and then push and go right to plank pose. Good. Maybe 1 more, maybe that's enough. If you're a yogi and you want to challenge yourself, this time push up halfway to chaturanga. Nice work. Okay, straight arms, tap your knees, take a seat for a second. I believe I'm gonna get it cut off very soon. So we'll say that is for today. If you haven't done that with me before, push-ups are really important. Make sure you know where your shoulders are going if you are doing some of those challenges. If you can support Union, it's on their bio, it's on their website, you can donate, or you can be like, to continue to support your membership. But thank you so much for practicing with us, and I hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.